Welcome to COVID community. My name's Taylor. Thank y'all for rocking with us for the past now 10 weeks. It's been 10 weeks since we began grappling with a new way to live, a new way to interact with one another. And this is the final episode of this season of podcasting. Armond and I haven't figured out what to do yet, but this has been really dope to explore and kind of organically process a number of different topics that we visited with over the past couple of months. So as usual, I'm gonna ask my co-host, how you doing, man? That's enough. If that's it.
Because it's in different spaces. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hit my breaking point Wednesday, and so I just emailed my boss and was like, I need the rest of the week off. Or I didn't say I need. I said I'm taking the rest of the week off.
Same.
Took the rest of the week off. Probably I'm gonna call off on Monday, and my son got here from out of town, so my whole family is together, like our whole blended family. So that's been a source of joy. I bought a Nintendo Switch, so that's been a source of joy where I have not played video games for pretty much most of my adult life. And so to get back into that has been a source of joy. But I'm also glued to my phone. And I've always been the guy.
Yeah, that's real.
I've always been the guy who said, yo, hey, y'all, take a break. Don't watch it. I ain't seen nobody get killed. Like, to this day, I have not watched any. I've seen stills. I've seen beginnings of videos. I've not seen anybody die.
Wow.
So I've always been like, no, I don't want to see it. The Joe Biden comment, if you listen to Clock Radio speakers, that set me off. And so ever since that conversation I had with my co-host set me off, and shout out to Doc. But from there, I've just been glued. Like, I want to see it. I want to feel it. My daughter's asking questions. She's 14. My son's asking questions. He's 11. My new daughter's asking questions. She's 6. You know what I'm saying? My wife is very much plugged into these spaces. So it's a duality, like where I'm doing good, but also I'm feeling the reality of where we are right now. And this is the first time I've really like went out of my way to feel it. And I'm actually glad I'm doing it because it's fueling so many things. It's fueling like this artistic thing that I've been fighting for like most of a year. Yeah. Like I've been sending Taylor stuff, like just writing. Like I like what I sent you. I wrote that on a 15-minute break. Like I needed that. I feel my prophetic voice coming back. Like I needed this. You know what I'm saying? So it sucks, but I see what the Lord is doing through this with me internally, and I'm grateful for that. So all things considered, I'm all right, but like things are still kind of crazy. How are you?
For those of y'all who've been watching this, that was the longest Armond has ever taken to describe how he feels. So I'm just going to counteract that with I'm feeling a lot. And that's not how, that's what. That's just I'm feeling a lot. So I would like to hopefully allow us the freedom to navigate all of those feelings. It's okay to be multidimensional. You know, we are not 2D. We only just feel one way when we face somebody and then we disappear when we turn to the side. We are multidimensional. You got to see all of us, and we're going to be all of those things. But we have a special guest with us today.
Hi.
Aziza is, I want you to just give your own kind of biography in a way. Like, how would you describe yourself? Because you have varying spaces of influence.
I occupy many spaces.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So thank you, first of all, for being with us. What are some things that you typically find yourself contributing? What spaces are you finding yourself contributing in?
Oh, man. Lately, how does one, like, I'm not just a X or a Y or a Z. I'm a poet. I think a lot of people might know me as a poet or as a writer. I love it. It is my way.
Of course, she's a poet. Yes, I think you already guessed that, but there's deeper layers. Yes, the jeans, the hairstyle. Let's go. Yes, even the way she answered the question as an introduction. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So I love the arts. I love it as a space for healing. I love people. I guess if you just boil everything I do down to it is healing. I think Black people deserve a space to heal. I think oppressed people deserve a space to heal. I think traumatized people deserve a space to heal. And so wherever I go and whatever I do, that is what I hold space for, and that is what I create experiences around the notion and the experience of healing. So that manifests actually as like interior design, like curating a home space that is safe, beautiful, healthy, one that brings you joy. Or it's in poetry where I allow people, something special about me is that I have a sense of authenticity that I think a lot of people are afraid to carry. And so it's me, it's whatever, whenever, 24/7. So this is me fully. So I think I'm just a person who curates spaces for healing.
That's good.
Yeah.
I love that. You're also a Black woman and a voice that we need to hear even as a finale. We need to hear from a Black woman, particularly as it relates to the space that we're in. And I think you bring a unique perspective, not just as a Black woman, but one who kind of sits in a generation of tension right now. I don't want to say there's necessarily a transition, because I think transitional tension still somewhat defined, but I think this kind of tension is still evolving and still being defined. We don't know what we're going to point to in history yet, but I want to ask you, what are you feeling? Like, what are you feeling now? Like, what encompasses the generation's feeling or tension right now?
For me and the people that inhabit my intimate circles, I'm feeling unbought. Like, no one owns me on this side of heaven. Nobody. Not the church you belong to, not the job you go to, you drive to every day, not social media, who's going to tell you which way to think. I'm unbought. I don't belong in your categories. I don't want to be in your boxes. I'm not your token. I am 1,000% me, and 3,000 given to the Trinity. So that's it. I'm unbought, and for that reason, you will see liberation out of me. Like, for everyone who's unbought in this generation and in this time, that's who liberation's going to come through. Because there's too many allegiances. Like, we're bowing to the wrong mountains. Like, who put y'all there? Second of all, come down. Third of all, I'm not. I'm here for solidarity. I'm here for, like, linking arms and thinking together and dreaming up solutions, but you don't have my allegiance. None of it. And I don't owe you it. So. Listen,
Armond and I are rappers, so we can hear so much in what she just said. Listen, what I'm saying is, you already know, like, this is happening over here. I don't know about y'all, but this is happening. Like, we're in something. But I want to invite those of you who are more of the general audience and broader thinkers into maybe a little bit more specific nature of what we're talking about right now. We're fresh off of 2 nights of rioting in our city, rioting in other cities. Another Black man was killed in a particularly horrific way. Also, on that, in the wake of that footage and news, there was another depiction of a white woman weaponizing the police against a black man, or trying to weaponize the police against a black man in just a domestic dispute over a dog and a leash. And so the
which is
tension.
fitting.
Yes. There you go, back to the metaphors. Go ahead, Armand. Go ahead. But this is where we're at. We're feeling all of those things rioting as a result of the pain.
No, I was just gonna say like how she was like.
That's what really got white people mad.
Yes.
That if you look in the comments, 50% are, "Oh my God, don't call the police on black men," and 50% are, "Oh my God, did you see the way she was choking her dog?"
She had to give her dog up to the shelter before she got terminated.
Tragic.
I have a question about that. So do y'all think that if somebody gets caught doing like some racist stuff that they should lose their ability to earn an income, earn a living?
She didn't lose her ability to earn an income.
Okay, from that particular institution.
I think that the condition of our society has to it has to matter in the way employers think about their employees. So what she did was a dangerous act for a certain group of people, specifically for that guy. So if we're just going to think about dangerous acts overall, like if you catch your employee doing something that's going to contribute to harm someone else, you know, what is the actionable offense of the company? Like, you represent the company essentially. And so if you don't value black lives, especially in a moment right now where it's so sensitive, then I think there is an action to be taken, and I think that was the right action. But I think in general, we have to consider our shame culture. You know, what it means to weaponize the internet and all this different stuff, and research and find out things about people and then harass them and cause them, dehumanize them in some sense. Yeah. I'm not feeling bad about her employment.
No.
But her challenging her as an image bearer, going to the next level of making sure she lives a miserable life for the rest of her life, I'm not with that.
No. So I'll preface this by saying I am a root person and not a fruit person. So we ask like kind of surface questions like that, like, or one-off questions, you know? And my answer to that is something way deeper, but track for a second. So we're saying she did something wrong. She did, absolutely. It was racist. It was disgusting. It was dehumanizing, right? And so us reporting her to her job, or her job seeing Amy Cooper on the headlines and saying, okay, we don't agree with that. We're distancing ourselves from that. Okay, sweet. So when we put people in jail, because they've done something wrong. It's punitive. It's purely punitive, right? People come back out the same or worse. We've solved nothing. Yep. So what people don't like, because people's version or idea of love is very flimsy and anemic and sappy and weak, what people need is restoration. So Amy, there needs to be some sort of systemic way Amy can be restored. So that is teaching, that is humbling, that is rerouting her worldview on life, which has to be on her part, you know, voluntary, but also there needs to be a system in which we take people in, they become restored, and we send people out to be better than they were before. So like when people think you're radical when you're talking about the abolition of prisons or the abolition of the police state. No. We're saying we need a better way, because people are going into police custody and coming out dead. That's not punitive. That's not okay. That's not restorative. Right. People are going into prison and coming out worse and you know, more than that, having no rights, being 3/5 of a human when you come out, right? So there has to be a level of restoration. It doesn't mean that because I love you and because I want restoration and healing for you, that there aren't consequences for your actions. Right. Homegirl got to go. No, not in, like, if I was the CEO of that company, you gotta go. You gotta go. And not only do you have to go, there are some things that you need to do that we need proof of your restoration and your repentance. So
whenever we talk about solutions like that, it's kind of a double whammy in the sense of, wow, what possibilities we have to evolve as a society. But then also the second part of that is a fantasy land.
Sure.
Considering the condition of humanity.
I push back.
Okay. In what way do you push back? Because that's important.
It's not a fantasy land. It is not. It is 1,000% possible. You know how I know that? Because we went into a pandemic and the whole world shut down. You would have never said that was possible. The entire world went into their homes. Companies gone to be seen no more. The world changed because it had to change. So F that. F that.
You don't have to censor yourself, but I want to, the reason I say in what way do you push back is because I agree that happened, but I'm analyzing and I'm still processing why it happened. Because what was said and what was hashtagged and what was spread was saving lives.
Stay home together.
I'm not totally convinced that that's why it happened. I mean, that sounds great. That's a good sentiment. But you know, there were many lives that were not saved. They were actually put in more danger because of
minimum
that
wage
action.
people at the grocery store.
100%. The vulnerable, the whole idea of the vulnerable was marginalized to old people, but the vulnerable,
Poor people.
The essential workers who were rebranded as heroes when really they had to work because
Martyrs.
they weren't able to afford not losing a check.
I never felt so stupid in my life. I was checking out at the grocery store, and in my wanting to be niceness, I said, "Thank you so much for coming to work today." That man looked at me and said, "Bitch."
straight up.
He said, "Wanting."
Yep.
Or what? My family doesn't get to get groceries from this same
Yes.
place if I don't show up today. So I was like,
Well, okay. So again, back to the reason I even extracted that is to say, did the world change? Or did the world just reveal itself for what it really is? Because that's for me what I've been processing.
I think both. I think it definitely did change. There is a new normal, and that has not totally been fleshed out. And I think that because we are where we are right now, like that is going to be rerouted again because of the revolt that's happening right now. I forgot the second part. You said we changed, but then also what?
Did it just reveal who we truly are?
It absolutely revealed who we truly are. I mean, just the fact that they tell you, oh, have 3 months of emergency funds saved, and I mean, businesses were living paycheck to paycheck. You know what I'm saying? And for politicians to say, oh, $1,200 is plenty of money for you to live. You should be able to live off of that for 10 weeks.
y'all live off of $1,200. $1,200 challenge.
Challenge straight up. And
TikTok that.
yeah, for real, move out the Tootsie slide and
Yeah.
give me the $1,200 challenge.
Yeah.
What's
up?
We live in Columbus, Ohio. How is that going to work in New York City?
Facts.
In
12
LA.
In LA,
In
like
DC.
1,200. I wish, there was people celebrating out here, like, yeah, I got $1,200, whatever. But out there, I just wish there was a documentary of that reality. So again, like I'm not pessimistic overall. I think I'm a realist. I'm a realist.
I'm an optimistic realist.
That's all I'm trying to say. And what are you like? What would you say? Where do you fall in the spectrum?
I am a pessimistic hopeful.
Nah, bro, you can't just have all the categories.
Yes, I can.
You're a hopeful oh, you're right. How does that even?
Pessimistic hopeful. I'm hopeful. I want things to change for the better.
But you don't believe they will.
No.
So then you're not. At the end of the day.
Okay. It'll change, but I don't think it'll change. If we see it, we'll be much older. I think who will benefit off of it is our children and our children's children.
Yeah,
Which is cool for me.
I'm a theological optimist in the sense that all things will be made new. Like that's
in the coming age?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But in the reality of now, what has mankind throughout human history taught us? What is humanity? Humanity is some population of creation that needs a savior, like a total, to your point, redemption.
Sure.
like a restoration needed to happen for creation. So here we are, and my question is more about how to navigate the reality of now, because I don't want to sell people on a utopia, especially black people. I don't want to sell my kids on a utopia. I want to tell them the truth and then how to be savvy and navigate this. So I'm asking you, like, how do you navigate it? I don't care if it's a certain kind of music you listen to, a certain kind of beverage you drink, a certain kind of company you keep. Like, give me a picture of Aziza navigating this in 2020.
Tequila on the rocks.
All right. Start off good. Wait, what time of day, though? Let me ask that.
Quarantine knows no time.
Oh, well. All right. And the church said amen. The real church.
I don't even know what that question is. How do I navigate what? Realistic optimism?
How do you navigate the times that we're in? What we're seeing right now, the systemic change you're hoping for is not immediately coming. So how do you navigate that reality?
It's not immediately coming. It has to be birthed. Birthing comes with pains. When a woman gives birth, because we see this analogy all throughout the Bible, right? And I know that you're a man, and I'm a woman that hasn't yet had a child, right?
That's why I feel uncomfortable using that analogy, by the way. But yes, go ahead.
Yes. So, but I do know a lot about birth because, I'm really weird. I watch like 6 hours of birth videos like a week. It fuels me. I love it. Okay. So I just love it. It's life. It's beautiful. That's also something that gives me hope. That's my self-care, watching birth videos. Okay. So I know, I'm a poet. What can I say?
Hey, but you hit it though. You said, like that was the audience reaction.
Okay, so, where was I even going with? Okay, birthing. So, when a woman gives birth, the caliber of pain you experience is like nothing else in the world. It's the closest to death you will ever be alive. And that's what has to happen.
Something has to die. Or feel like it's about to die.
No, something has to completely die. A seed,
All right.
unless it is broken in the ground.
All right.
Finish the Bible verse, because I don't know it.
I don't need to. I think we.
Yes.
I think it.
There you go. Unless
It
the seed
finishes
falls
itself.
and dies, it can't be whatever God wanted it to be. Can't be that
That's right.
oak tree.
That's right.
So it has to die. Dying hurts. Dying is sad, as we've evidenced. So I'm a bit different than the average person here, but I want to see more fire. I want to see more rage. I want to see more rioting. I want the full cup to be poured out. I want for what's in white people that keeps white supremacy alive, I want it to die. And it's going to die screaming. It's going to die kicking. It's going to die accusing. It's going to die loud and disgustingly with its guts everywhere, holding on to the last thread. And I'm prepared for that. Probably not, but I'm prepared for that. So it has to die, and it's going to die loudly. I'm not moved even a little bit by the looting. Stay out of black neighborhoods and stay out of black businesses.
Yes.
Black people, put a sign on your stuff, okay? But burn down the corporations. Target will be okay. Marshalls will be okay. Shell will be okay. The Hilton will be okay. The Renaissance will be okay. All of the companies that profit off of black culture, black lives, and black labor will be okay. They will be okay. And so I don't care to see it halt. I want more. Because all this is rage, is lava pent up under the surface. And if black people don't get that out, we're not going to see the better tomorrow. Because there will always be resentment, there will always be backlash, there will always be vengeance. So get it out. Why are y'all, I know why white people are scared, because you know what your actions have warranted. You know what the history of this country has warranted black people to do, and you're terrified. You are shaking. Because it's due to you. It is due to your systems, this burning. And so that's the birth. That's the birth, and it has to happen, and I'm not afraid of it. And I would encourage every single person on this earth, black, white, Latino, Asian, lean into it.
You're talking right. Armond, like, you have, like you said, your kids are here. Are you guys walking through some of what Aziza is describing? Like, what is your angle into these kinds of discussions? Are your kids even wanting to talk about this, or are you forcing it to happen, or what?
So my daughter is glued to her phone, and in theory, with the quarantine and the kind of school year that she had, like, I'm not really rushing her to get off.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of letting my kids chill, and whatever they do, we'll set up some structure a little later. But right now, I'm just letting them breathe and just have fun. So my daughter is glued to TikTok, and first of all, let me tell y'all that the stuff that goes viral on TikTok, that is a whole other world that we will never, ever experience. She be showing me stuff, and I'm like, what is this? And it's got millions of views. Like,
Wipe it down. Wipe it.
Yeah.
Happily OG over here.
I haven't even
I don't
entered
know.
into that space, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's funny. But, of course this stuff is going to make it there. And my daughter, I kind of inadvertently raised her to be an advocate. So she's, it started with us binging Beyond Scared Straight when she was like 7.
That's terrible.
My original goal was,
terrible.
no, it's not terrible. That's a great show. If you want to instill a little bit of fear in your kids, but like not too much, curious fear.
Man, that's good.
So we started there, and then I just realized. I remember one time a few years ago. I forgot why they were doing it, but they were. Do you remember when they were like leaving? They were like walking out of schools. It was like this mass school protest
For gun violence, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. My daughter did it. She texted me and she said, "Hey, Dad, I think I'm gonna walk out. I think I'm the only one that's gonna walk out. Are you okay with that?" I said, "Absolutely."
Oh.
She walked out, and then she said maybe a couple people after that walked out after her or whatever. I'm like, boom. But I've always told her since she was a baby, like, you are a leader. You're a leader. I've affirmed her in that so much. So now we get here, and she's seeing these things on her TikTok, and she's asking questions. Like, she wanted to go downtown to the riots. And I was going to, and I pulled up a stream, and I was like, "Nah, we're not going, because I'm not allowed to have you in the middle of that." And I was going to take her today after this, but they just declared downtown an emergency and told everybody not to go down. So
After Shannon Hardin and Congresswoman Joyce Beatty were just maced. Just let y'all know.
Word.
There's photos.
Streets is on fire in Columbus.
JBB? Y'all don't mace Joyce Beatty?
that's crazy. So there's just been a healthy conversation, a healthy dialogue, and my son is not quite at that point to like really understand it, but I'm talking to him he's coming into middle school. So I'm like, middle school for a lot of people is like your first taste of real like trauma, like fitting in, puberty, like all types of stuff,
Sure.
rejection. So I'm talking to him like, hey, as a black man, there's some things that you're just gonna have to deal with, or you're gonna have. This is how you deal with this. This is how you deal with. You know what I'm saying? So like, my kids are asking healthy questions, and my 6-year-old is just looking, and I'm just letting her listen and eavesdrop. You know what I'm saying? And my wife has done an excellent job of just kind of raising her to be curious. So, you know what I'm saying? I know those questions will come. So it's been a good navigating of where we are and where we're going, and you use these times to, reinforce the things that you tell them in peacetime that they don't necessarily, you think goes through one ear and out the other. You reinforce that. You show them that no, Dad wasn't just fussing, like he was legit. These are things that will happen and can happen. And I mean, we'll see, man, because I still think it's really, really early in the game. I think it's super early in the game. I think we have several more turns before we even get to a place of dying and birthing. I think we're going to see. Like today we're having a conversation. I want to transition into this. Is like the rioting, and it seems like information is coming out that there are people inside of the riots who are intentionally creating the damage.
Nothing new.
And they are not black, and they are not even allies of black people or the cause or any of that stuff. But we are bearing the brunts of the blame. Say that 5 So it's like, what do we do? Like, I want to see burning, I want to see fire, but I don't want to see it from people who are burning for the wrong reason. They're burning to sabotage.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there are anarchists who just want to be a part of the chaos, to just forward the idea that burning is good in and of itself. It's cathartic. But what that does for us is it forces us to have to fight the depiction or the characterization that we don't have a reason for our pain.
Cool.
You know,
like, come on.
Yes.
I don't care what it looks like or what you're going to say about the looting, because the looting in essence is okay to me. It's warranted. And so I know you're doing it to flip it and to, you know, make me feel like the angry black savages, but we're not. We never were. And this isn't about that. So it's just negligible to me. Like, we see you. We see you, bro. Like, over here knocking out windows and starting fires. We see you. But at the end of the day, like, I don't care about what it looks like or what he's trying to reinforce. I don't mind it.
Yeah, and they remain masked up.
Yeah.
Like, we have the courage to face,
which is nothing new. Again,
100%. Like, we will wear our pain the same way we wear our skin, and we own it 100%. And but when you see these anarchists and these other people who are trying to take advantage of the moment, ultimately to continue in the oppression narrative, they are masked up. They are concealed in the same way a person from the KKK would be. They won't even own their hatred. They won't own their participation in keeping society oppressive for us. Us, on the other hand, we out here just, this is us. This is what we need you to see us and feel us on every level. Whatever the pandemic is doing right now, that has become secondary because we have always been the vulnerable population. It's not about a pandemic. It's not about us getting sicker. We've already we've already been dying. We've been dying at young ages. We've been incarcerated at young ages. Our healthcare system sucks. We come out born with predispositions to high blood pressure and hypertension. Black women struggle to even have the babies because of all these health complications, and medical care is trash. Our schools are trash. We are vulnerable all the way. Like, it's not, this pandemic isn't educating us on what it means to suffer. Like, what you're forcing us to do is suffer openly in such a way where you can't ignore it anymore. Yeah. And that's where the burning is. We have already been looted. Like, it's like you getting looted, you getting a few $100s stolen out of your store, you having a few $1,000s worth of repairs is nothing in comparison to our fathers being taken away, our mothers being raped, our children being marginalized and adopted by other people who are saying they're well-to-do and they're trying to take care of us. No, we have already been looted. So I don't want to hear those narratives. This is why I'm being very selective on the people who I'm talking to these days. And I'm talking to y'all on camera in a room that's empty, because I don't want to talk to a lot of people right now.
Don't have the capacity to explain Black humanity.
Yes.
So don't call me about it.
Don't
if you're
call
wondering
me
about it, Google University, the same way you learn how to make your sourdough starter kit. So
go listen to my past sermons, my past music, if you want to hear from me, or I have reposted. I literally the other day reposted an article in the Mediums, 75 things white people can do to fight racial injustice.
They're everywhere. The solutions are everywhere.
75?
Don't text me.
Like usually you start
God
with 10.
bless the soul who made it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what more questions? What do you want to talk? 75. Come back to me when you've done 10. Come back to me when you've done a tithe of that, and then maybe we can have a conversation about what you experienced. Let me get off of that, because I'm going to do what I did last time and go into a rant, which was already that. I want to go back to this notion of the conversations we're having and the ways that we're engaging with one another about this. I've protected my circle in terms of who I'm talking to. Aziza, you're in a healthy relationship
With a white man.
A full-blooded white gentleman. Shout out to him.
Love you, baby.
Yeah, and you're in this now. How are you guys? How does a relationship like yours thrive in this? I assume he loves Jesus at least.
He's Buddhist.
Well, Lord Jesus. This is literally the only emotion that came out. I just had to cry to the Father. to the Son.
No.
To go to the Father. And I'm very curious. I'm very curious. Like how are these conversations working?
All right, he's not Buddhist, so let's just take that off. To just make sure that y'all knew that was a joke.
Hallelujah.
This would have to be its own 90-minute podcast.
Fair. That's totally fair.
I mean, so let me set the stage for you of who we are. We come from two different worlds. Okay. My grandfather, I don't know if you knew this, is one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party.
Well, thank you. This is great.
Shouts out to my motherfucking grandpa.
What's up, Grandpa? He's alive. Is he alive?
He's alive. He ain't watching this.
Well, hey, listen. Shouts out to you.
Yeah.
For real.
So not only like my grandparents, when Malcolm X was assassinated, they hid Betty Shabazz, his wife, in their home. So my family is my great grandfather, the first person to desegregate a fire department in Oakland. So like my family is very much like by any means. So that's where I came from, and my story is very complicated in the fact that I grew up in my adolescence half in Compton and half in the white suburbs of Texas, where I wore DC shoes and spiked my hair and had black lipstick. So very interesting.
DC shoes. I was stuck on that.
Skater shoes.
Yeah, I know what you. I know.
With the tongues,
Yes.
okay. So and I had a skateboard as well.
Yes.
Okay, so that's me.
Back son.
And then okay, yeah, kick push came to a different community for me.
Yes.
So and then Cade, my boyfriend, he grew up on a farm in Ohio, an hour out of the city. Homeschooled in a very small town. So I met this young lad, maybe he was about 3 or 4 years into his journey of, oh shit, things are different for people. He intentionally moved into the hood. He intentionally bought and kept property in the hood to help people who were in difficult places. So people who have been incarcerated, people who are about to have a baby and have a bad renting history, people, so he began doing the work before I met him. This wouldn't have worked if that wasn't the case. So he has a history, right? But he also has a history of the negligence and the quiet, white moderate that we are condemning today. That was him. So he's seen it. He's been there. There's no excuses for it. He recognizes it. Oh, so in effect, I want to say that that's the expectation, because you've already been complicit in my abuse and my oppression. Once the light comes on, you're required. It holds you accountable. You're held accountable to move. So he knows quite a bit. He studies things on his own. But there are still moments when it's like, oh, you didn't even see that. You didn't even get that. And those are the heartbreaking moments, because it's like, oh, dog, I know you love me. I know you're down for me. But you could, because of who you are and because of the way you grew up and because of what society has afforded you, you couldn't even see that. So I'll give you an example, because I'm fine with this. Like, we've grown a lot in the issues of race. Just a few weeks ago, it's right after the Armond murder, we went to go look at a house, and it was way out. It was way out on the farm. I went to go look at a house because he buys houses. That's what he does. And the open house ended, and so he went a little bit farther in the land to go look at the barn. And I yelled out to him because I saw someone pulling up. The lady told us, "Oh, you can stay here. Go look at the barns. Go look at the land. But like, it's over. But you guys are more than welcome to stay here. The people won't be home for another like 4 hours." Okay, cool. So he goes farther from me, and I hear somebody pull up. And then I see it's a pickup truck. And so I said, "Babe, people are coming back. Like at this point, I've just watched someone in a pickup truck murder a black man in broad daylight." And so, and we're out an hour out of town. We're in the country. And so I feel myself shaking, and I'm like, "Babe, people are coming back." He's like, "Okay, like I'll be there in 2 minutes. I'm looking at this thing." And I just begin to be like, 2 minutes? What could happen in 2 minutes? And so he comes back, and he is running, and he's like, "Okay, like I'm back." And I just like get in the car, and I just explode. I'm like, people are fucking dying. Like, and I need you there to protect me because your body is worth more than my body. And you didn't even notice the urgency. And that blows me, And so there's always this extra level of caution and this extra level of needing to be aware that we have to work through because it's not innate. Yeah. And it's so that because I know you want to protect me, but now I also know that you have to learn how. Because protecting me isn't the same as protecting a white woman. Because the world already protects white women. You don't have to do much on her behalf. And so there's these conversations and these happenings that seem small but are really big. But I will say, I don't want to discount that. He has a lot to learn. We have a lot to learn to navigate our relationship. And at the same time and in the same breath, I'll say that I have never seen somebody do the work like this man does the work. I'm talking about housing people who have immigrated from Latino countries in your own home. Ask me how many people I've done. Like, I've seen him do the work, and not just the I'm reading work, but the I see you people work, and what's mine is yours. Yeah. And if your body is on the line, my body is on the line. Yeah. So it has risen, the bar is high for me when I look at white people. I'm like, because it's possible. You can do it. You can't. I've seen him talk to his family. I've seen him do it. I've seen him check his friends. I've seen him do it. And so the bar is high, and at the same time, low. The bar is high for what y'all need to do compared to what you're doing now, but at the same time, that's low. So while we're at quarantine and everyone's sitting at their tables in your white home, use that moment when you're having dinner to say, "Mom, Dad, what the fuck is going on in America?" Enter conversation here. And what are we going to do about it?
That is my dream, to just see that uncensored question and subsequent conversation in that setting, because I just want to know what folks are thinking. And we were having kind of a small sidebar earlier of just kind of the way that we parse through language and not really actually say what we feel and what we think. And I feel that much more for many white people. Like, they're so afraid of offending me that they're not going to tell me the truth about what they think and feel.
Let's just say it.
Yeah, just say it. Just tell me what you think about this situation. Ultimately, what you think about me, what you think about the people who are angry. But there's so much effort to parse through. And now that's the part that I appreciate about Donald Trump, is he shows us who he is.
Shouts out to my man Donnie.
Listen.
No masks. Love you for that.
Keep on tweeting, bro. At the end of the day, you are fueling the revolution to some degree. I know that's kind of this weird alternate universe way of thinking about it. But if we are going to burn, then it has to come from something.
It
It
was
has
the
to be
same thing in the 60s.
Yes.
You bombed a church with 4 little girls are dead.
Yes. Yes.
Not to say do it again, but do y'all see this shit?
They do, man. They do. And now we got to be honest about it. And I appreciate you for sharing that. I didn't want to put you on the spot in that sense, but my sister's married to a white guy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cam and Cade.
Cam and Cade.
What's up, Cam and Cade? I'm sure you guys got a lot to talk about. That tension is a real thing that I think needs to be unpacked more. I don't think Dear White People did a good enough job. That movie made me angry, or in the show too. It was just like I quit. Like I don't want this. This is too much. I'm about to throw my.
I didn't see the show, but didn't the movie end up like perpetuating like a white savior ultimately anyway?
I don't.
Depending on how you interpreted
Logan
it.
Browning with a white man.
I despise contradiction. Contradiction is, for me, that is never going I'm never going to have like a blasé response to contradiction. I'm going to be furious with when things do not line up. Sesame Street taught me that one of these things is not like the other, and damn it, yes, it's not like the other. Like, don't try to tell me it's the same. It's different. Don't give me that contradiction. So, I look at these kinds of pictures of relationships, and I feel like when we don't really explore the complexity of even hope that could be possible. There's a complexity of hope that kind of relationship could be possible, but we have to see what it looks like and what it takes.
What a healthy version looks like.
Yes.
Because we're so used to seeing interracial couples when either one person is fetishized, whether it's the white woman fetishizing the black man, or it's the other way around, the black man with loads of self-hate and thinking that the white woman is the trophy and the prize. And then it's two different dynamics, a black man and a white woman and a black woman and a white man. It's different.
Oh my gosh.
It's different.
Now that's another episode.
And the level of shit you get being a black woman, the nerve of some people. Black women have carried the black community since the beginning, and it was never our responsibility.
I think Armond and I need to leave for this part because look, there's really a lot. Get the verse off.
Nah. I mean, but it's just, black women have done so much for black people that, let me tell you straight up, black women don't owe you shit. And where a black woman finds her joy, her happiness, her safety, you gonna have to be okay with it. Period.
Bar.
Safety is huge. That's the word that stuck out to me.
Yeah, and there's so many ways I would love to talk about that.
Another time.
Yes, that will be another time. Listen, I don't know how long we've been talking, but it flew by, and I really appreciate it. I'm glad Armond was the plug to get you on as a guest, and the thing. Even the backstory, we didn't even know your history. I didn't know your history and all of that. Like, that is so dope that we get to interact with that right now. So thank you. I want to give, this is me. This isn't God. This isn't the 10 Commandments. This isn't anything. But I want to give black Christians the pardon to curse, to be angry, to do things publicly, to show emotions publicly that make other people uncomfortable. I don't think that we need to sanitize who we are, and that is a liberty in and of itself. I feel like there's an oppression on top of an oppression when we have to continue to maintain this faux dignity that makes people want to be our friend. And what we should be able to do is have the luxury of allowing people to be our enemies. Now, what does the scripture say we do with our enemies? We love them, but in order to love them in the way that the scriptures teach us to, we have to identify them. And if that means us being who we are creates enemies, then we still have a mandate from God to treat them a certain way, but we also need to be who we are. The full scope, be multidimensional, and I want to offer that in the way that you live. I appreciate Aziza being who she is. I appreciate Armond being who he is. And as long as we can maintain our true sense of identity, then I believe that we're living lives that please God, because he literally designed us in particular ways. So last thing I'll say is stop tearing up black businesses. Stop doing this.
Stop tearing up black businesses.
Yes, that's the finger that goes all the way into the camera. I'm wearing my Soul Classics crew neck just to support Soul Classics. They got looted last night. I have a suspicion it's one of the anarchists or some of the anarchists or whatever, but we need them to be healthy and alive for our community. So make sure you, if you're going to protest and have a show of strength, watch Killer Mike and T.I. talk about this in Atlanta down there during what they're going through, but make sure you support us. Make sure you give us an economy to return back to. Give us a foundation to build on it and allow our foundation to stand. So love y'all. This is season 1, but I have a feeling we'll have a bonus episode. So peace. God bless. Stay safe.